each stage of my development was celebrated with great fanfare, such as tying my shoes and eating with the right tools. The lesson from my childhood was that while I did have neurological challenges, I was able to deal with and overcome those deficits because I was raised by a loving family who shared their time, effort, and patience as we worked with my learning problems. One of my early issues with arithmetic was that I simply could not see columns of numbers, so Mom would have me write each problem on a single sheet of paper. My sister taught me to share ideas through writing by acting as reporters and typing out short stories for the newspaper about the adventures of the mysterious Frank Lawlis. One of my heroes was my uncle, who was a physician. He shared his medical books with me and would teach me about the dynamics of medicine. The progress I made as a child with challenges did not come from traditional medical treatments. It was due to the caring determination of the people around me. My mother suffered more challenging health than I did. Our lives were centered around her illnesses and surgeries. I counted 26 surgeries and special programs that were paced so she could maintain a teaching job she loved, and over the years, she greatly influenced many students. My father explained that each new treatment she underwent was necessary due to past illnesses. Helping care for her and bring her back to daily functioning over and over again captured my attention and curiosity. As friends and extended family combined our efforts to bring her back to health yet again, the question that always remained with me was, why couldn't the science of medicine help my mother? When I contracted measles at 9 years old, pretty much on purpose so I could stay home, I had an extremely high fever and could not walk steadily. I overheard some dreadful words as the doctor spoke with my parents. He said he would order an iron lung the next day if there was no change. I prayed all night long and asked God how I could heal myself. A message came through that I should allow my body to cure itself, and I felt assured that I would be all right. The next day, I was dressed to go to school before my parents awoke. I never missed a day of school after that. These influences led me to eventually receive a PhD in a specialty of psychology I refer to as medical psychology. I taught in 5 different medical schools and focused on physical rehabilitation, psychiatry, oncology, and orthopedic surgery to study the healing abilities of the patients I served. I didn't want to compete with existing medical care. My hope was to better integrate the healing experience by researching what happens when we allow the body-mind system to balance itself with love, care, and innate wisdom. As I enthusiastically entered the field of medical instruction, bitter facts became apparent, which I'll share in Chapter 1. It was my naive belief that medical schools were supposed to teach the most effective healing approaches, but it dawned on me that the real purpose is to educate future physicians in the traditional practices of the profession. This standard leaves out a lot of wisdom about healing and limits the contributions of other professionals in the business of alleviating suffering, such as psychologists like me. This narrow role would have sufficed if I had seen the limited view behind this American system working successfully. Instead, I made use of clinical experience to observe our innate healing abilities up close. I learned a lot from watching parents, who are the most instinctual of all healers, with ill children. I watched children who were going through the horrific but necessary treatment of severe burn injuries be profoundly calmed by listening to the rhythms of their mother's heartbeat and feeling rocking motions as they were put to sleep. I watched the healing effects of parents stroking their children while they endured the demands of chemotherapy in a war with their cancer. When parents modeled a rhythmic breathing pattern I taught them, children were able to undergo the repeated spinal taps required for their treatment. And when we played specific sound rhythms, autistic children and adults could manage heightened anxiety as they expanded their known and safe boundaries in our clinic to engage a bigger world. As a consultant to an insurance firm in Japan, I found that dancing rhythmically was the most effective way to reduce a serious disease the Japanese called karoshi, which means death from work stress.